So welcome to another episode of the camper build. Let's just get right to it. This will be part one of installing this bottom rail of the camper to the bed of the truck. Now this is for a third generation Toyota Tacoma, but I'm sure you can modify it to fit your truck if you have something different, especially if you have that mounting channel that's on the Tacoma here. So before I cover installing this bottom rail here, I want to go over something real quick. In the beginning of the video, I said that I was going to build the bed cover before I built the camper. And that's because I had sold the topper and we had a road trip to Breckenridge coming up. And then immediately following that was a road trip to Telluride. And I didn't think that I was going to be able to get this camper on before that. So I thought that I would be able to get that bed cover because I needed something to cover the gear and everything for the trip. But this camper went up super fast, way faster than I was expecting. And I was able to get this camper on for both those trips. And so I'm going to kind of cover some of the sacrifices and some temporary solutions that I made. Like this whole back panel here was especially made for the Telluride trip. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started on installing this rail. So here's the 1x3 T-slotted aluminum, and it fits on the bed rail really nice. I mean, it's like a perfect fit here. And the only part is the end here, but I can make a little bracket to blend everything in. But I mean, I really like the look and feel of this, and I think I'm going to use this as my final solution instead of just making little brackets and posts that attach to the bed rail. It adds a little bit of weight, but it does provide a bit more structure, and it doesn't rely on the rail of the bed here. So super nice. I mean, I really like this. And so the other part is that I can use this for my truck bed rack that I'm going to build with this kind of same process, and also the truck bed cover. So this will be part of the truck bed cover that I'm going to be doing here fairly soon. That'll probably get done before the camper, because I need some way to cover the back of the bed here to keep everything dry, because I sold my topper a couple days ago. So now I'm kind of committed to this whole camper build and come up with a solution so I can, pile gear in the back. But this is like super nice, and so I'm going to go over how I'm going to attach this to the truck on both sides, and we'll just show you the brackets next. All right, let's go over my thoughts on how I was going to attach this aluminum to the channel here that's on the below the bed rail. So one of the first thoughts I had was using a carriage bolt. This is a 1/2-inch carriage bolt. I had to grind off just a little bit of it so it'll fit, but with the 1/2-inch bolt, it fits in there. Carriage bolt fits in there real nice into that channel. And so really beefy 1/2-inch bolts, but kind of just limited to the edges of the channel. But then I found I think that's a 3/8 bolt T-nuts online. So I didn't know you could buy these, and they weren't too expensive, but they fit real nice into the channel. And so I think that well, this was nice. I think I'd rather use the T-nut. Kind of, it's more designed for T-nut anyways. So my first bracket idea was to make this little plates here, and so I was going to run, so you can run a carriage bolt here. I had to grind off the sides on the carriage bolt for the T-slot aluminum. I'm not sure what happened, but I had like a whole bunch of these bolts that fit just perfectly, and then I bought another set from the same place, and I had to grind every side of them. So it fits in there, but it's just more of a hassle now to grind every single one of them. So the idea is you have your carriage bolt here. Let me take off these nuts. I still need to put a spacer here. That's kind of what those nuts are for. But because to line up with the channel, the T-slot aluminum and the channel are offset a little bit, so I just needed to put some spacers in there. But I had two out here on the top here because there's not that much meat here to grab for the carriage bolt. And so as you can see here, so I have the carriage bolts into the aluminum, and then the bolt will just kind of bolt right into the T-slot, the T-slot nut. The problem is that you can't really adjust the friction, so you can't really kind of pull it tight to the bed of the truck. So I'm kind of still debating whether or not to use the carriage bolts or just use another bolt just to bolt it through with the T-nut on the back side here of the the T-slot aluminum. I thought that the carriage bolt might offer a little bit more security and more stability and strength, but you know, I'm not sure. So I think it's just both are going to be about the same. So I probably just use the bolts through here, and then with the little T-nuts in the back of it, and then with the bolt through here. So this doesn't quite line up quite right, so I need to kind of oval it out a bit to kind of make it match. It might fit. I don't know. I have to check it out because I haven't tried this yet since I cut these. But that was a solution that I thought about that I was going to go to, but I'm still going to use these, I think. So, well, I know I'm going to use these just kind of like as extra support. But the final solution is going to be kind of a bracket or a plate that sits on top and a plate that sits on the bottom, and then you can take a bolt and then tighten that bolt and really kind of hold this tight to the bed rail. I don't have that done yet, so it's going to be like I said, a plate here, probably a 90 here, a 90 there, and then a bolt that goes straight through. So once I get that done, then I'll show you that. But for now, I think that I'm going to put these on. That'll hold everything together. It'll keep everything in place. It won't be that tight, but it'll be secure enough to hold everything down until I get the final solution. And then the third piece is there's anchor points on all four sides of the truck, and so I'm going to use like a cable to the top of the camper and use a turnbuckle to kind of really crank things down. So I will have probably 4 of these plates, 4 of my new brackets I'm going to make, and then 4 turnbuckles to hold everything down. So my topper that I had on here just only had 4 bolts. So I'm going to have, so it's 4 by 8, 12 secure points to secure the top to the bed rail. I think that's probably overkill, but you know, I want to make sure everything's secure and tight, and if something comes loose, that it's not going to fall off. So my first priority now is to get these mounted on the bed rail, because I need to make a little truck bed cover first, and I need to get the distances and everything exact so I can get these plates on here and see what kind of spacings that I'm going to have to make sure everything fits flush. So I'm going to modify these a bit, put some spacers, get these on, and we'll just kind of see how that looks and see how secure it is. And even if it's like super secure, I'm still going to go with my other option for the other bracket. So that's the plan, and that's what I'm going to work on next. So I've been searching for something to put under the bed rail to kind of protect the rail of the camper and the bed rail itself, the plastic part here. I didn't want to take this off because I need to take the camper on and off to use this still as a truck. So didn't make sense to take it off, put it on, take it off. So I need to come up with a way to protect it. And I've been looking for material kind of all over the place, what normal toppers use, what other people used. And I wanted something that kind of has some gripping power, so it doesn't slide back and forth at all or up and down, and something that won't disintegrate over time. And a lot of online searching, and then it just kind of came to me that when I was replacing a bike tire, that the inner tube here, and so I think this is going to be like a perfect material because it has like a little bit of grippiness. It's very sturdy, and I think it will hold up to the pressure and the weight and the heat being outside. So I'm just going to try just a bicycle tube. I'm just going to cut it down the middle. I already cut one here. So it's a little short. It's only about 1.5 inches or 2 inches, and I think I'll just put this one strip down for now, and then see how that works. See if I need to put two strips down. But just right now, I'm just going to try this and see how it works. There's a little bit of powder in here that I'm going to wash off to kind of give it some more gripping power, not powder. But anyways, that was my plan for underneath the rail for the camper, the base rail of the camper, at the top of the rail of the truck. So we'll see what happens. So I made a huge mistake. Not a colossal mistake, just a huge one. Huge mistake is everything I cut too long, so I have to cut everything down. The colossal mistake would be cut everything too short, and I have to buy new material. So what happened was I measured the width of the truck, and I was trying to maximize everything, and I didn't really look to see how everything was going to fit. When I didn't measure all the way to the tail of the truck, I just measured kind of like 3/4 of the way down. But what happened is it's going to be too wide, so I need to cut everything off by 1 inch. So this is kind of why I'm using this material and why I'm going through this process. It's kind of a hassle, but I can tear everything down, make all the cuts I need, put everything back together, and we should be good to go. But I'm going to triple check everything so I don't have to do this again. So the thing was so when I measured this, I measured 64 to maximize everything, and that's just as 1 inch too. It's about 1.5 inches too big. So what I did was I went down to 63 inches. I'd like to go a little bit more, but then I'm kind of dealing with fractions, and I'd like to keep everything whole numbers as best as I can. So 63 should work fine. So that's right. So that's 63. And so I need to square everything up, and this is how I found out the problem. Is I used the roof supports for the camper, and to make sure that everything is spaced correctly. And so these are 61, or they were 62 inches, and now they're 61 inches. So everything is on the camper now, and squared up, and looks good. Like I said, I'd like to go in just a little bit further, but I think it's okay. I'll show you the tail piece here. The front looks really nice, and it just kind of overhangs a little bit on the tail. But so I think that's the final width that we're going to go with is 63 instead of the 64. You know, it doesn't sound like much, but it is. So let me show you kind of run down the rail here so you can see how it fits on there. So here's the crossbar for the roof of the camper, and so you can see I have like a 1/2 inch gap. And so what I originally had, it was like, well, I can't move it over to all the way, but I had it kind of all the way to the edge here. So that was just kind of pushing things a little bit too much, I think. And I'm kind of blocked by this piece. This piece is kind of raised, so it's not flush with the bed of the truck. So I have to kind of deal with this. I could take it off, but I like to keep the truck like it is, because when I take the camper off, I don't want to have to put that piece on and off. So let me run down here so you can see there's a bit of a gap here, and then it's kind of flush here. This is kind of, I think, where I measured it. It's kind of about 3/4 of the way down. It looks really nice. But then on the tail here, you can see how it just overhangs just a little bit. It's not too bad, but it was at another 1/2 inch, and that was just a bit too much. So it runs fairly even now with the channel of the truck here. So I think that's kind of what I was basing all my measurements off of in the first place. But so I think this will work. I put, like I said, I put 2 of the crossbars from the roof to kind of square everything up, so I can get these brackets, get all these brackets mounted on the side of the truck and get this rail mounted to the bed of the truck. And I still have to put the inner tube here, make sure that's under here, so when I put on this bracket, you know, that inner tube is going to give a little bit of space there, so I need to account for that. And by the way, these inner tubes are off of a road bike, 700 by 25. I think what would work best would be like a 29er, but I don't want to cut a new 29-inch tube. So I'll just wait till I get a flat on my 29er, and then I'll cut that up and see how that works. But these are drying. It took forever to get that powder off. But once I got that powder off, it's kind of grippy, which is exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm going to try to get this to lay flat and see how it goes. Oh, let me measure that. I forgot to measure it before. Yeah, so it's about 1 3/4 inches. So it's going to be, you know, just over half the width of the 1x3 aluminum here. So that'll work, I think, especially down here, because it's going to cover pretty much the whole thing. So the next thing I got to do is get these brackets mounted and get this rail on here so I can start building off of it. Okay, I just beat the rain. I got these brackets in. I got all 4 in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I did the initial measurements on these things, they turned out just right. So it's really solid. I mean, super solid. The whole bed just kind of shakes. So I can shake the whole truck, and it doesn't move. I still want to do the compression clamps, but these are solid. And with that, when the turnbuckles on the four anchor points there, the one up there in the front and the little D-ring here on the back, I think with the turnbuckles and with these, I think the camper is going to be solid on there until I can build these different brackets. The only thing that I wish I had done is I'll probably paint these black, so I'll take them off eventually, but round these corners off, and because they're pretty sharp, I might hit them with a file just so they're not that sharp. But I kind of wish that I'd rounded all those off before I put them on. But I was trying to beat the rain. But yeah, I'm super stoked, super happy. They fit in there right away, or fit in there really good. And I think this was a 5/16, not a 3/8. I think I said 5 or 3/8 in an earlier video. So anyways, that's the progress. This rail on, except for the end cap here that I'm not going to worry about right now. But super nice. I really like the look and feel of that. And like I said, I can mount the truck bed rack and also just a bed cover. So I'm going to start working on that and probably order the parts for the bed cover here pretty soon. And so I'll just have like some type of something to fasten the snaps here, the reverse part of the snaps, and the snaps on the vinyl. We're just going to do a vinyl cover. I might try doing the top of the camper, the roof of the camper, except it's there's a 4-foot section, so that would take you almost to right about there on the bed, and then you'd have just a small section. So maybe I'll do like the 4-foot section of the roof of the camper, and then do like a vinyl cover on the end or something, or fashion a piece of aluminum to cover it there with a hinge or something. But that's for that's another project for another day. Right now I'm focusing on trying to get this camper on. So that's the progress I made so far, and like I said, I'm super happy with that. That looks super nice. Oh, I did have to have 4 washers in here. I'll make a bracket instead of the washer is like a little piece of aluminum, a square stock or a flat bar, and then just cut it so it's fits right in this groove. If I have to measure this, it looks like it's about 1/4 inch. Anyways, that's the progress. Super stoked, and things are going really good. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Like always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Part 2 of installing this rail will be coming out shortly, and I think that's just about everything, so I'll see you on the next one.